Staying in the U.S. for the story, but the image of George Floyd, the African-American man who was killed by police officers during an arrest in Minneapolis, Minnesota on May 25th, has become internationally recognizable. But this depiction is dramatic in its own right. The statue by Dan Reisner, which depicts Floyd's face as he lay dying in a chokehold, has also coincided with the recent movement across the U.S. to bring down Confederate-era sculptures, which are now widely considered offensive. The artist Dan Reisner joins me now in studio. Dan, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we were very happy to have you and show our viewers a replica, I believe, of the statue of George Floyd's face here with us in studio. Obviously, the story as a human, the human element of it is universal. But what inspired you to depict him in that moment? What did you hope it would accomplish?
Well, first of all, when I saw this such a terrible video, I was totally shocked. And seeing his killing and seeing him on the floor in such a manner and really sent me also into the history of art, because in the history of art you can see these moments of death. We call them in the history of art memento mori. This is the remembering of the death in the art piece, to show that how life is so fragile. And this moment really showed us the fragility of life, and in such a terrible and tough way. For me, well, the moment I saw this video, I just couldn't stay. I mean, I had to do something, and I just called it was in the evening. I just phoned my wife and told her, listen, I'm staying in the studio for tonight, and I immediately started working on the piece. And I think this is a very important moment, this moment of Mr. Floyd's death, because you can see, you know, people really, we try to change so much during our life. We try to do new things. We try to find new path. But we can see also sometimes a person in his deathbed, you know, not bed, even on the road, in this terrible situation, creating such an enormous change throughout America, throughout the world. And these ripples, I think, are sent everywhere.
Can art help with that, bring about that change?
I totally believe that art is a healing vehicle for people. I think this is the reason we artists create art. I think it's in order to influence and to inspire people to see that change can be made. And this is something, I think, which is our privilege as artists, and also our commitment.
So it's a moment of death we see here, but also, would you agree, a moment of uprising?
Totally a moment of uprising, and this is why I think this was so important, and for me, myself, because I think this is the statement of the work for me.
Well, it's certainly a dramatic piece, but just by looking at it, you're reminded not only of George Floyd's death, but you see what can come of it, especially after the uprising we saw in the States. Dan, thank you very much for being with us for this and for bringing this beautiful statue here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us this hour.